Welcome back to the MVP's Lounge. I am your host, as always, the King, and thank you guys for liking, sharing, and subscribing to the channel. We're on the road to 1K subscribers. We're going to get there by July 12th. I know it. I just got this feeling in my bones, that we're going to be at 1K by the end of that day. Just got this weird feeling about it. But be sure to pull up at All In Texas on July 12th, that Saturday, because I'll be out there doing interviews with wrestlers, with fans, and who knows what else might happen while we're out there. So be sure to pull up. And if you're not going to be able to pull up, watch the show, and be on the lookout for AEW All In review and some more videos on the show. Now let's get into AEW Dynamite. Okay, before I start that show's review, I just have a couple questions for you guys out there. What was your first memory of AEW? And why did you continue watch it? Or why did you stop watching if you stopped? For me, I just always kept watching after seeing that first episode and that first Double or Nothing. The show was actually good to me around that time. Now, again, it slowly started getting a bit, weird with the booking. But eventually you start getting better people signed to the show. You're getting Brian, you get Adam Cole, you're getting different stuff. And you go through the COVID era before then, and you're in Jacksonville doing all the other wild things. But Dynamite, if you just remember that first show and Double or Nothing, it just kind of just brings you back to what the show originally was. And outside of, the Bucks and Cody, if you remove them from play, you had a pretty darn good show going. My only thing is that 300 shows later, did you get better or did you get worse? Well, for me personally, I think they got better. 300 days later, 300 Dynamites later, I think you got better from where you originally started from, because I'm looking back at this OG Dynamite card, and it wasn't much to stare at, if we're being honest here. Like, if you put this card on the screen now, then compared to what you just got tonight, I don't know, you might change the channel completely and never turn back. With that being said, AEW, I would say for the past, we'll say for the past, by the end of this year, I'm pretty sure it'll be fine. We'll say for the past 2 years now has been doing real good. And they've done the right things majority of the time. Sometimes they do bad, but it's been the great alternative for people who don't continue want to watch WWE all the time and want to see something different. So I would like to say formally, thank you to AEW for being created. Okay, yes, the thank you also goes to the Bucks. They're also part of that creation, so I'll give them a thanks as well. Even though 99.9% of the time they are wrong in multiple decisions that they make. But hey, that 0.01% of creating AEW, I'm always on board with that. Okay. The glaze of AEW is over. Let's jump right into AEW Dynamite 300. Okay, so the show starts out with Hangman and his confrontation with the Death Riders. Cuts a promo again, pretty much going back over again why he needs to free the belt from the briefcase to give back to the people, and his journey from the past 2 years and why Moxley doesn't deserve to hold the belt. Moxley comes out, lets him know that he isn't prepared to hold his belt again, and telling him the reason why he's going to lose at All In Texas. Hangman's not with it, smacks him upside the face. Moxley takes him down. Death Riders pull up. They start stomping him out. And Hangman is really begging for this Texas death match with Moxley. Really, really begging for it. Moxley's don't want nothing to do with a Texas death match and is leaving. Claudio and the company were going to pull back up on Hangman to jump him again. But the ops were there to, be his backup. Marina Shafir pulls up in the ring and is going to hit him with the briefcase. But he takes the briefcase from her. She's on the ground and this part could have been done better, okay? If he really wanted to threaten Moxley into doing this Texas death match, he could have held Marina actually hostage. She wasn't really held hostage. She could have got up out of that ring and left. That part they could have done way better. But him actually, I don't know, choking her, holding her, doing something to actually threaten her life. In this way, it wasn't really threatening her life. It was kind of like she could have left, but not here nor there. He fake holds her hostage, and Moxley pretty much caves in and says he'll do the Texas death match. And then after, Hangman hits her with the buckshot lariat after she was slapping him a hell of times before. So, hey, equal rights, equal lefts. You know what I'm saying? That's what we do here in AEW. WWE, take notes on that. We need to start doing that a lot more in times, okay? Because, man, sometimes it gets real annoying when men can't fight back. You got to make things equal like we used to. But that was the end of that segment. Hangman and Moxley will be a Texas death match. Come all in Texas. Again, that segment could have been better with some slight fixes. After that, we immediately go into Mercedes Moné versus Mina Shirakawa for the TBS Championship. Toni Storm is on the outside with a birthday cake. I don't know if it was her birthday, I guess, or someone's birthday. I'm not sure. I didn't really listen to the specifics on that one. But she's out there looking very weird, almost concerned, really. And we get into the match with Mina and Mercedes, and it starts out kind of sloppy, not gonna lie. It was kind of sloppy in the beginning. It got better towards the middle once Mina was starting to work Mercedes' leg, and that stuff was good. And then towards the ending, it was getting kind of weird with Mercedes kicking out at one point, and then one of Mina's finishes getting kicked out. But yeah, it ended in a roll-up. Yeah, no surprise there. But when it ended in a roll-up, Mercedes decided to pull up on Mina and start attacking her. Toni Storm immediately storms into the ring, pun intended, and to check on Mina, but her back is turned, and then Mercedes hits her upside the head with the belt, takes a licking of the cake that she has, and then leaves. Both of them dead in the ring. Yeah, not looking good for Toni, getting cleaned up 2 weeks in a row, so she's gonna have to fix that. Really gonna have to fix that. What do we get after this? I believe we go straight into the tag team match after this, I believe, because they were showing the Young Bucks in their limo, and then because they were in California and they were trying to show their childhood home and a bunch of other stuff. That stuff we didn't need. we did not need any of that segment stuff with the Bucks at all. But they're the EVPs, so they're gonna put themselves over. So not much we can do about it. Bucks hit their segment. They get their entrances, then Takeshita, and they're up against 2/3 of the Paragon, Roddy and Kyle, and then Bandito, ROH champion, who's going to be facing Takeshita. All right, 6-man tag team match. Won't lie, it was a pretty decent match. I mean, you're going to get that with at least 4 of the people in the ring. I'm not talking about the Bucks, by the way. They're none of their stuff you're going like at all, unless you're really a Bucks fan. You're not really going to enjoy most of the stuff that they do. But I really enjoyed everything the 4 other people were doing in the ring, especially Takeshita. Takeshita is a world champion. Like this guy should be like a world champion by this point, but he's not. Hopefully we get there in the future. But the Bucks were really working the crowd this match. really pandering towards them because, you know, hometown kind of thing. It was getting kind of weird because you're like, that's normally a face thing, but you know the Bucks, they just do what they feel like at this point. But it was a pretty decent match. It got way better towards the back half of it. Again, but like we all know, in these 6-man or tag team matches, it kind of breaks down to a point where they all start brawling, and neither the referee nor the crowd knows who's legal in the ring, but you kind of don't care at that point. This is why these things need to be just tornado tags, because regular tag team matches end up turning into tornado tags regardless of the fact. Either way, I really did like the ending sequence of the Bucks and Takeshita hitting him with triple knees to the face to Kyle O'Reilly. And then Takeshita ends it with the Raging Fire. And that's it. GG's. Heels get the W. So far, the heels are getting W's tonight. The villains. This whole thing was heroes versus villains type vibe, because, you know, next week we get Superman. So, as of right now, the villains have been winning a lot. Next up, right after that match, they start stomping on Kyle, but then out comes Ospreay, and did Ospreay pull up? Okay, so now I might be skipping over that other Fatal 4 match. I think that might have been next, then the Bucks. Or am I losing my mind? Could lose my mind. I could be mixing this up actually, but neither here nor there. Ospreay and Swerve pull up, and they take out the Bucks, and then they make a proclamation. They say, "Hey, what is happening, bro? Are we still gonna get our match where we put your EVP titles on the line?" And the Bucks say, "No, the EVP titles will not be on the line. We're gonna keep our EVP names and our status going forward because there's nothing in it for us." And then Ospreay's like, "Okay, fine, we'll put something up. If we lose at All in Texas against you guys, then me and Swerve cannot challenge for the world title for 1 whole year." Swerve's like, "Hey, yo, my man's like, whoa, hold on now. I ain't agree to that." I didn't agree to anything like that. Ospreay kind of just threw that in there. And the Bucks were like, "Hey, we're not going to agree to that until Swerve says he's going to agree to it as well." Swerve eventually is like, "Okay, fine. He'll do it." You know, he's trusting Ospreay on this one and says he'll do it. But, hey, man, I said it before in a prior video. And them boys is definitely losing at All in Texas. They losing. They're not winning these EVP titles. They're gonna end up losing, and now they can't challenge for the world title for a whole year. Jesus Christ. Yeah, if you thought Ospreay was going to win his belt at some point in the near future, definitely not happening now. Same with Swerve. We ain't getting it back. Oh, man, a whole year? Jesus Christ. That means they can't challenge until next year after July. Oh, my Lord. Yeah, y'all cooked. Y'all big cooked. I'm going to circle back now. Before I get to the Ospreay and Swerve match against main event Mordos and Dralistico, I want to talk about that Fatal 4-Way real quick. Just, man, I'll make it quick, okay? Fatal 4-Way to get their spot in the second spot in the gauntlet match, because Mark Briscoe already got the first spot, so the second spot is going to go to one of these guys. I actually enjoyed this Fatal 4 match, you know? Most Fatal 4 matches, they kind of separate each other a lot and not have 3 or 4 other guys in the ring. But this match, majority of the match, it was 4 guys in the ring or 3 guys in the ring at least. You know, they rarely had the one-on-ones just in the ring. So I kind of enjoyed it a lot. All 4 men showed out. Brody King definitely should have won this match, if I'm being honest with you. But story-wise, I understand why MJF won. Okay, because they're going to have him and Briscoe start the match. Because, you know, they had their whole mini spiel for the past couple weeks going on. So, but Briscoe and his promos with them, it's got to stop. You know, the 2 weeks in a row, these segments, they don't hit. All right, you try it twice, okay, end of it. All right. Even though Briscoe told Max he wants to see him one-on-one in the ring on the mic next week, bro, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Just find a way to cut that segment extremely short. Like, give it maybe 2 minutes max, and that's it. And you gotta cut it off, because, bro, that's not, these promo segments have not been hit. But after Briscoe's random promo, out comes Out comes Speedball Mike Bailey and I almost called him Kevin Samuels. Jesus Christ. What is his name? I forgot the dude's name. Yeah, I remember that dude's name. Speedball Mike Bailey and somebody. Wow, I forgot his name. He's black, light skinned, yeah, I know him. Is it Kevin Knight? Kevin Knight? Kevin Samuels? Kevin something? Who knows? He comes out there and they both are taped up underneath their shirts from when they got slammed through the table last week. And they try to pull them up on the Hurt Syndicate and it just, bro. Them niggas got killed again and again. And then they kept going onto the mic. Like, I don't know if y'all remember when Taker hemped up Jeff Hardy years ago after that ladder match they had and he was getting back up. That's pretty much what they've been doing. They were getting back up on the mic saying, nah, we're not done yet. Hurt Syndicate, go back in there in the suits, whoop them. Again, go back in the suits, whoop them, whoop them. They just kept getting killed. And they kept asking for more. They just kept asking for more. And then Kevin Knight, I think that's his name. Kevin Knight challenges, I think he challenged Bobby. Might have been Bobby to a singles match. So, yeah, that dude's gonna die by the end of that match. So, be prepared for that. Hey, look, Hurt Syndicate, I just got a round of applause, man. Round of applause for them. Like, this is what black talent should look like, Triple H, on your main roster. It should be put respect upon, okay? They should be the greatest talents on your roster. You should give them some great booking. But we're not getting that. We're not getting that at all. I'm not even gonna get into Triple H's trash booking right now. But I'm just saying, hey, look. That's how black champions, black men should be looking on the main roster. Alright, so shout out to the Hurt Syndicate. One of the best things going right now in AEW. Alright, We Hurt People. One of the best songs also in AEW. Point blank period. Okay. Now let's get back to Ospreay Swerve against Beast Mortals and Drilistico. I'm gonna make this very quick. It was an okay match. Beast Mortals has been getting a lot of main event, semi-main event matches a lot ever since the whole thing with him and Mercedes. So, hey, if I'm Beast Mortals, shouts out to me. Alright, because now I'm getting to show my talents out there in the co-main events or main events. And I got Mercedes, so hey, W's in the chat. Now, outside of me being Beast Mortals and being a fan of the show, it's getting kind of weird that this dude's just all of a sudden in these big matches. But hey, the dude can work. Let's not act like the dude can't work. I won't. Yeah, he looks silly sometimes in the fit he's in. Like, maybe if we could change his fit up, or maybe take the mask off, or I don't know. We'll find something to do. But hey, he's been given a shot to show his skills. The dude can work. It's not like he can't. So shout out to him. Drilistico, yeah, he's all right. I don't really give anything about that nigga. I don't really care. So Ospreay and Swerve, they end up being a W. Styles Clash into the house call, and yeah, 1-2-3 victory. So shouts out to them. All right, we have now reached the main event of the evening. Kazuchika Okada versus Kota Ibushi in 2025 is the main event of AEW Dynamite 300. Does it deliver the hype that it's been given for the past week? I'll say half of the match gives the hype. Half doesn't. Half felt like it was kind of very slow paced. But that's kind of how Okada's been wrestling against certain people. He's been giving them that Randy Orton slow paced treatment. So the first half of the match wasn't really that good. But the second half, they started to turn up going into that, back from that last commercial break and going into the overrun. Match started to pick up and started to get real good. Ibushi, we even got, I like to call it stone cold faced Ibushi of taking these attacks from Okada and eating them, and then started hitting them with ferocious strikes in the corner, leaving dude looking crazy. Even when he got him with that tiger bomb off the top, and Okada kicked out, I was like, man, this is tough. Dude, Loki should have won off that. But in the end, Ibushi suffered the same fate as most.
Very smart by Okada. Likely or not, I loved what he just did. Oh, swinging a miss, but the drop kick connects! Here we go, here we go, here we go. Finish it, finish it, finish it. Rainmaker! Good night.
Yes, sir. GG's for Kota Ibushi. Shouts out to Kazuchika Okada for getting that big W. But you know, immediately after the match, they said it already, they're going to put Kota right next to his golden lover, Kenny Omega. So they started stomping this dude out like crazy, beating him up some more. Out come more of the Don Callis family to assist in taking out Ibushi. And who else to come save their golden lover than Kenny Omega himself? That's right. Kenny pulls up to save Kota Ibushi. Fantastic stuff, man. Fantastic. They both hit what's old boy's name? Trent Beretta. Oh yeah, they folded him up like an accordion. All right, they killed him. they killed that dude. Oh my god. Shouts out to Kenny, you know what I'm saying?
The face of Okada, the face of Don Callis says it all. They had no idea Kenny Omega was in the building, let alone ready.
Yeah, they did not know dude was in the building, but he saved Kota, and now the show goes off the air. Hey, what a Dynamite 300. Again, there were some bad parts of it, won't lie to you. You know, the Briscoe promo, some of that Sasha match. So I keep calling Sasha Mercedes. Some of that Mercedes match. Half of that tag team match we got with Ospreay and Swerve wasn't important. But again, overall, it was a decent show. You know, 7 out of 10 personally. You know, for me, that's how I felt. How did you feel about the 300th episode of AEW Dynamite? Let me know in the comment section down below. AEW 300. Wow. 300 episodes. Hey, let's hope for 300 more. Okay, let's hope for 300 more. Let's see where this future holds for AEW. But I will see you guys for AEW Collision. That's right, because that's going to be its 100th episode of Collision. So I will tune into that to see if they got any heat going on. Let's see if they got any heat for us. All right. So I'll see you guys Saturday for Collision. You guys be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share as always. Road to 1K is coming. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.
Woo-hoo!